Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one for you today. We're going to hear directly from John Deaton on the filing to the judge in the SEC Ripple case. And I tell you, it is really, really powerful. If what he has done gets through to the judge, it could, in fact, end this case and take away the fear for all retail investors. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen. Everything that we're talking about here today, markets up just slightly, 1.5%, $1.373 trillion market cap for crypto. Right now, Bitcoin sitting at 30,500 plus. Ethereum back over 2,000 at $2,081 and change. XRP is 42 cents this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the range of price very quickly here. It's ranging between 42 cents on the bottom and 43 on the top. Pretty tight trading range this morning. We'll keep an eye on it. Know this, today is the first reverse auction on block of Ripple shares. That means starting at 8 a.m. Pacific time today, the price on the shares, listen to this is so cool, will reduce $1 per share and then drop by $1 per share every hour until the entire lot is sold out. So if you want to wait for it to be cheaper, you just wait a couple hours. But the problem is will it get sold out before it gets to the price that you want to buy it? Oh, this is a special you really want to be a part of. So make sure you check out the link underneath the video. Now let's get to this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me pull this up here for you. Okay, so yesterday we had a roundtable Twitter space with so many great people. It was John Deaton, Nick Burafedo, Ray Fuentes. I think Joe Endoso from Link 2 was there also, and myself, and DAI, the GOAT, was in the house. I tell you, you're going to hear John Deaton really break down. Linda P. Jones had some great questions and input there as well. Shout out to her. And I'm telling you, James Rule XRP, I just want to make sure I get everybody that you're going to hear talk here included, but you're going to hear exactly what he's done. And right at the end, I get to come in because I was actually in transit listening and participating in the podcast. It was a heavy rainstorm I was involved in. So I did get to ask exactly what happens if John Deaton is absolutely able to get through to the judge. His hunch is right about the expert from the SEC who he believes does not have any evidence that he has interviewed any XRP holders whatsoever, and he's claiming for the SEC that XRP is a security, which could harm all of us as retail investors. So this is very important information you're about to hear. I'm going to let this thing spin because you need every single bit of it. Here we go, right here. Check it out.
But just wanted to say thanks for joining us, John. Thank you very much, sir. Let's get this Ripple Roundtable started. Being that you are the attorney representing over 60,000 XRP members, where are we at within this case at this given time, sir? If you can give us a little background context.
Well, right now we're in the motions are being written. Obviously, yesterday, I'm sure most people have discovered by now or seen that I filed a motion letter with the judge asking for permission to participate in the Daubert briefing. To bring everybody up to speed, basically the judge set a calendar that Daubert motions were to be filed July 12th, and responses by each party would be August 15th, and then summary judgments would be September and replies in December. What Daubert is relates to expert witnesses. And Daubert is from a famous U.S. Supreme Court where the Supreme Court adopted what the standard is for allowing expert witnesses to testify. And the bottom line is when you have a Daubert motion, what you're doing is you're challenging the ultimate opinions of the expert because their methodology, how they derived at that expert opinion is flawed. And so basically you're going into court and saying, Judge, this particular expert should be completely disqualified because they don't have the requisite qualifications, or this particular part of their testimony should not be accepted by the court because it is so deeply flawed. So that's what a Daubert motion is. And I'm only talking about what's on the public record. So just officially, I'm not going to divulge any private conversations I've had or with that's not part of the public record. So that's why I'm able to do this now. And then what I mean by the public record is the motion and the exhibits that I filed yesterday. But the bottom line is I sent letters that are now exhibits to my motion to the SEC and to Ripple saying, hey, I may need to participate in the Daubert motion or with summary judgment, and here are some potential relevant issues, to get some feedback from them. Are they willing to agree that I could view non-public information? So as amicus counsel, I'm not privy to all the stuff unless it's filed publicly. So for example, the Hinman deposition. The people on this call have seen exactly what I've seen. I haven't seen the unredacted versions of the Hinman deposition because I'm not a party. All right. And so basically, in requesting information, I found out that there's this expert witness that the SEC is using, and his name is Patrick Doody, Doody. And he's basically offering opinions similar to what he did in the Telegram case. Is basically he's going to say that XRP holders, and I haven't seen his report, so this is a bit of me speculating, but I'm pretty accurate, I believe. He's going to say that XRP holders, when they purchased XRP and acquired XRP, they were relying on the promises and inducements of Ripple. And that's the reason they acquired the XRP. So I believe that Patrick Doody is being used by the SEC to try to establish that even secondary market XRP, not people who bought it directly from Ripple, but when you go on Coinbase or Uphold or Kraken and you buy XRP in the secondary market, that you bought it relying on Ripple. Now, we all know that a lot of people, they heard the name Ripple because it used to be called XRP, but they purchased and acquired XRP without knowing about the company Ripple. And so basically, I found that out. I asked the SEC and Ripple, would they agree to share his report with me? Ripple said yes. Because the SEC didn't name it listed confidential. As soon as the SEC found that out, they objected and then labeled it confidential immediately. And so I went to the judge saying, basically, in addition to the summary judgment motions, I should be able to participate on behalf of XRP holders in this motion, that there's no more relevant maybe motion. If this guy is going to get up here and say what we believed or relied on, we should be able to participate and give her our perspective. So that's basically in a nutshell what the big filing was yesterday. And, it's not the end of the world if the judge denies it, because, we've given her the information. But, for example, in my letter, I explained to her that I have served Ripple and the SEC with 3,252 affidavits, basically from XRP holders in multiple categories. I've collected these affidavits from XRP holders, in the last months. And they say things that are just basic truth, right? But a judge might not know. For example, there's an affidavit that says, hey, I staked my XRP and I acquired a interest on it, and I didn't need Ripple to do that, right? So that takes you out of the Howey factor of relying on the efforts of the other. Or I collateralized my XRP for a fiat loan. Well, there's a financial benefit without Ripple. Turns out when you add up all the percentages, the majority of first-time acquirers of XRP were unaware of the company Ripple. So, hence, if you're unaware of a company called Ripple, how could you rely on promises and inducements from that company? So, it's very relevant to challenge this guy. I predict that this expert gave his opinion and didn't interview one XRP holder. That's my prediction. Now, I don't know that for a fact, but that's my prediction. So that's where we're at in the case.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
John, so what is the timeline that you would expect the judge, if she's going to, I'm assuming she'll respond either way, but what's the timeline to get a response? And then walk us through what the best case scenario looks like.
I'll do best case scenario first. Best case scenario, the judge grants exactly what I asked for, and that is that she would tell the SEC to provide me with the duty report now, or before July, as well as his deposition testimony, because Ripple deposed him, right? There were all these depositions that everyone knows about. Ripple deposed him, and I need to read that. What's the basis of his opinion? Like, did he interview any XRP holders? What forms the basis of his opinion so I can write a brief? So that's the best case scenario, and she would rule, that fairly quickly. Best case scenario, she'd look at it and say, this makes perfect sense, not even listen to the other sides. But chances are she's going to let the SEC file an objection and let Ripple file a response to my motion. Sort of like my pre-motion letter on the motion to intervene. Typically, the other side has 5 days to respond. So we could get a response from the SEC, either Friday or a week from tomorrow or sooner, or from Ripple, and then she could rule, the next day after receiving their rulings. Now, worst case scenario, she says, Deaton, Ripple has enough adequate attorneys. I believe that they can adequately represent the interests of XRP holders in attacking or challenging Mr. Duty's qualifications or his opinion. And even if she says that, a lot of times, XRP holders and people generally, they only count the wins and the losses, right? Well, even if that happens, even if she says no to me, we still got the information in front of her, right? That she knows that XRP holders didn't just sit on their butts, man. Thousands of people took the time. There's 1,500 of the affidavits are sworn, meaning they went to a notary and had them sign it. And, they deal with all the issues that are relevant. And if this guy is going to be used duty by the SEC, in essence, everyone knows the Howey test. In essence, he's being used to establish the common enterprise prong and relying on the efforts of others prong. So he's a big, big deal. And as I'm explaining to the court in my letter, right, what's crazy about this case that everyone's heard me preach about so much is that the SEC is taking the position that all XRP are securities, including the secondary market of people who purchase it in the secondary market who've never heard of Ripple. And so in my letter, I submitted and quoted Judge Netburn in that very first hearing where she said to the SEC, well, according to your theory, every person in the world trading XRP is committing a securities violation. And so, I'm confident that she'll grant it. Now, it is possible that she says to Deet and me, denied for now, I'm going to wait until the briefs are filed, and then you can reapply, and give me a proposed brief, and then I can read it and decide whether I'm going to accept it, because she doesn't want a duplicative argument of Ripple. So there's all kinds of, different ways that she could rule, but I felt compelled when I heard that they're going to rely on this guy and he's going to get up there and tell everybody, what the reasonable XRP holder relied on, that it's something that we should be involved in, making sure our perspective, not just Ripple's perspective. And one thing that I encourage everyone to read is the judge, when she granted amicus, she said in her ruling that the XRP holders may view XRP differently than Ripple, and that may provide a unique perspective. And so what I did, look at footnote 3 of my letter, I said to the judge, you're 100% correct, not in these words, you're 100% correct, Judge. And then I cited the paragraph in the complaint where the SEC says Brad Garlinghouse said he doesn't view XRP or Bitcoin as currency. He doesn't buy coffee with it. James Rule will appreciate this. Footnote 3, I said, well, Judge, you're 100% right, because XRP holders, some of us do view it as a currency, and we do use it to buy our coffee, including at Starbucks. So hopefully she'll see all that and grant us permission to be heard.
Yeah, I do spend my XRP pretty much everywhere I go. So thanks for putting it out there, John.
You're welcome. But anyways, that's enough. That's a lot from me. So I know there's other people that got things to say. So.
Hey, Brad from Digital Perspectives, do you have any questions for John? I don't know, Brad. I know Brad's in transit. Linda, how about you?
Yeah. John, how much weight do you think the 1,500 affidavits are going to get by the judge? Do you think she'll actually, read some of them as evidence that will offset this person's claim?
Well, it's a great question, Linda. It's just for the record, it's 2,300, so it's a little more than 1,500. But there were 1,500 that were sworn, meaning there was a notary. Here's the thing: the judge ruled that I can't present witnesses, so I didn't submit the affidavits to the judge. I submitted the affidavits to Ripple and the SEC, saying these affidavits form our perspective, because if you look at one of the exhibits, the SEC, of course, did what it always does. When I asked questions and they said to me, if you seek permission to file a brief, we may ask for an extension, to respond. And so to show the judge that that's completely unnecessary, what I did is I served them with all the affidavits, declaration by me and whatnot, and simply said, these affidavits form the basis of our perspective, so there'll be no surprise to the SEC. But it'll be up to Ripple to utilize the affidavits or not use the affidavits any way they seem fit. I can't present evidence to the court. The judge put that limitation on me. So need to make sure that that's clear. So it's sort of up in Ripple's and the SEC on how the affidavits get utilized. Very foreseeable with the quality of attorneys that the judge has, that Ripple has. The judge could say, I'm just going to, not let Deaton participate on this one, but you can participate at the summary judgment level. Or she could agree with me and say that there's no harm in listening to what I have to say too.
This is Brad. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go, Brad.
Yep.
I just have a quick comment and then a question that's coming from DAI and myself here. We're seeking shelter from a heavy rain. And, I just want to say, first of all, John Deaton, you're a field general for what you're doing for every XRP holder out here in this space. You are appreciated, my brother.
Thank you.
And the question I want to ask is can you give people the long and short, best case scenario? And I know you've had to show both sides of what could or could not happen here. But let's talk about the best case scenario. What happens here if the judge takes your filing, takes your information, sees the best case scenario, your hunch is right, and this expert is not so much the expert he claims to be on XRP, what are we really looking at here, John? And I'm going to have to mute. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Brad, and I appreciate the kind words. The bottom line is she would ultimately throw out as unreliable and as wild speculation Mr. Duty's opinions as it relates to XRP. What that would mean, at least in the secondary market, what that would mean is that they would not be able to prove a common enterprise and a reasonable expectation of privacy for XRP holders in the secondary market. And I'd be confident that we would receive some kind of written ruling that XRP, unless, it's sold directly by Ripple, to a venture capitalist, in 2015, that XRP is not a security because they can't meet the standard. The SEC just can't meet the burden. I mean, wow. I know it's very simplistic, but just think about this. And it's why I tell people that, that you're allowed to stake and collateralize your XRP. That fact alone means you benefit a financial benefit. You receive a financial benefit, a profit from the token itself, independent of Ripple. That makes XRP a commodity, or some type of commodity-like asset. Damn right. Not a security. Now, so it really helps focus the court that the only chance that the SEC has is to say that this specific options contract to some venture capitalist for, 6 cents, 8 cents XRP for a $20 million investment in 2014, right, or something like that, that particular sell and transfer constituted a security.
There we have it right there, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, John Deaton has done something massive here. I hope everybody has gotten it right from the horse's mouth here. Listen, he said some things that really stuck out to me right here. First of all, we believe XRP is a currency, no matter how many times we've had to entertain the notion that Gary Gensler wants it to be a security, right? The truth needs to matter. And as I said about the ruling on the Hinman emails, I believe what John Deaton has done with this filing, with the MiCA status here, I believe this filing does the same thing. It actually puts the judges in a position here where it comes down to the judge's integrity overseeing this case. And so far, it's been stellar. So no pun intended there. But the reality here is that the judges now and their professional integrity is really where we're at here. The way they rule, as far as I'm concerned, on the Hinman emails, the way they rule on John Deaton, and look, they don't have to take the information right away like John Deaton had mentioned. They could say, look, we're going to save this for summary judgment, and then we'll bring the information you shared back, right? He's not allowed to submit evidence, and that's an amazing thing here. The SEC can't meet the burden if this expert is in fact found out to not be an expert on XRP. That's going to do it for me. Thank you to John Deaton so much for everything he does for all of us XRP holders. If you have not reached out to sign up for that class action, you can do so at cryptolaw.us, or you can do so and find the link, I believe, on John Deaton's Twitter page as well. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch all of you on the next one.